first in Virginia, chairman of the Virginia Republican Party, John Whitbeck. Mr. Chairman, great to have you, bud.
Hey, great to see you. Great to talk to you, John.
Now, so our audience knows John Whitbeck running for a full term to be reelected chairman of the Republican Party of Virginia. That'll be decided in a state convention April 29th and 30th in Harrisonburg, Virginia. And John is going to win re-election because he, right now, as of today, has no opposition. So, John, you've done such a good job. You're not opposed. What do you think?
Well, look, this is an exciting time for the Commonwealth. I mean, just a little over a week away, we're going to have record turnout, like you said. I mean, the high benchmark for turnout in Virginia was 800,000 some odd people in 2008. We're going to blow by that. And it's happening all over the country. The momentum and the enthusiasm is definitely on the Republican side.
Well, look at Las Vegas. Look at Nevada.
Right.
The Democrats, I think they had 80,000 people turn out to their caucuses on Saturday. That was a full, get this, 50% under what they had in 2008. 50% under.
Oh, my.
Right?
And it underscores what really I've been trying to talk about, since I became chairman in this unity thing. I mean, it's not just a cliche. It's not just, we are poised to beat Hillary Clinton or, God, Bernie Sanders, for crying out loud, might have a shot. So we are right there. They are both disasters for the Democratic Party. And after 8 years of Obama, they have lost, 69 House of Representatives members. They've lost 13 senators. We control the majority of governors. They've lost, over 900 state legislators. It's been the worst almost near decade for the Democratic Party, and culminating with the defeat of Hillary Clinton. We cannot at all have these sort of petty things going back and forth. We are on a mission. You talked about the Erickson statement, and Sean Kenney. I mean, I saw that article where he said, "I will not vote for Trump, and I will actually work against him."
What is up with, let's just stop there a second. I mean, look,
yeah.
I know Sean Kenney. Sean Kenney's a friend of mine. He's been on my show numerous times. He was your executive director for a while at the Republican Party of Virginia. I mean, he's a long-time noted Republican activist. I mean, I don't read their site often, but somebody sent me to it, and I did read his, I guess, blog or whatever it is. It went on forever. It was like 8,000 words. I don't know what he was. It was some kind of long narrative diatribe. But at the end, he says, not only am I not voting for Trump, I'm going to work to defeat him if he's a nominee. And I'm like, what is up with that? Right? I mean,
yeah, really disappointing. And, and what's worse is that kind of stuff helps the Democrats win. I mean, that the way I read it, I didn't read it on their blog either, but the article was posted on Democratic websites. So what you essentially have, and he didn't serve as executive director for very long, but what you have is a former GOP executive director saying that he will not support the nominee. That's going to be, Democrats are going to gleefully pass that around.
Sure.
That's the kind of stuff that we need to overcome in our party. We're going to have differences on all the nominees. I mean, there are things about this candidate or that candidate that people don't like. It's always the way it's going to be. But when it comes time, we talk about, the president is the leader of the free world, which makes the presidency a larger responsibility than just leading the United States of America. If we don't win the White House, the free world fails.
Right.
Period.
Right.
This in 2016, John, you talk about all the time. I don't agree with you on everything, but one thing I agree with you on is that people are fed up. They want change. They want to just transform America. From the Obama Clinton agenda to getting back to our roots, making our freedom and our Constitution at the forefront of our policy. All those things that you talk about and that our candidates talk about. I mean, this is it, folks. There is no tomorrow, and we can't have people in with a megaphone saying, "I'm not going to support the nominee." We just can't afford that anymore.
Well, it's shameful, and I think it's myopic, and I think it's selfish. And look, we got the same thing out of that blowhard in Atlanta, Eric Erickson. He's gotten fired from every job he's ever had. He's another one that came out with his blog. I'm not going to support Trump. I'll support whoever the opposition is. Okay, whatever, Eric. Everybody's fired you. Look, the bottom line is, John, why this really upsets me is I've been backing losers for the Republican nomination forever. And at the end of the day, I backed the nominee. I was for Newt, lost that in, 2012, all right? 2008, I was for Fred Thompson, lost that. 2000, I was for Steve Forbes, lost that. 96, I was for Pat Buchanan, lost that. 92, I was for Pat Buchanan, lost that. 1988, I was for Jack Kemp, lost that. So as far as back as the eye can see, I lose, right? But then I don't turn around and say, well, I'm not going to back your establishment candidate, Romney, Dole, McCain, whatever, because the alternative is worse. So this is just, to me, myopic crap, and they should be called out for this. And to sit there and say, Trump is this, Trump is that. Look, right now, Trump is winning everything because people want change. And he's bringing new energy and new blood into the GOP. Isn't that what we want?
Well, and it's not just the Trump campaign. Record turnout. The Cruz campaign, the Rubio campaign. Really, all of our candidates have caught on to something here, and I know that they're very different in the way that they present themselves, and I know that there's a lot of disagreement right now. But at the end of the day, the record turnout, the things that we're seeing, the enthusiasm is so fantastic for what we're trying to do. I mean, we can't just win the presidency doing things the way we did in 2012 and just saying, well, we'll appeal to independents and, we'll turn out Republicans and we'll run some ads and do some mail. This has to be a transformative election for the Republican Party. We must increase our numbers, and you're going to see it all over Virginia. We're registering new voters in places like Southwest Virginia and all of our strong areas at a never-before-seen rates. We've got we're going to have over 140 people on the ground in Virginia, and the hiring's already started, and we're hiring Virginians to win in Virginia. So whoever the nominee is going to walk in to the state, the most important, if not one of the three most important states in the country. They're going to walk in. It's all going to be there for them. They're going to step in, and then we're going to win Virginia for them.
Where is the money coming from, John, in order for the Republican Party of Virginia to partner in building a real ground infrastructure? And I mean a real one. So my listeners understand, I want to go back to Romney in 2012, and we heard about all these touch calls that were being made and all these offices open. I mean, it just didn't pan out. And when they did when Reince did the autopsy, he said that, one of the things in Virginia was that they called a lot of people over the phone and said these were touches, but they didn't really get them out. They didn't really, it didn't materialize into a win, and they got blown out by the Obama ground game on the internet and stuff like that. So how would things be different?
Well, we first of all, that was the old Victory program.
Right,
we used to call it Victory, and you're right. I remember in 2012 when I was chairman of the 10th district, I'd go to the local Loudoun County office that was near my law office and check in, and they'd have on the board. We called 10,000 people in the last month. That's great. Our numbers, we're competing with the other office in Fairfax or Richmond or whatever. And it felt good. It felt great. I mean, it felt like we were doing something. I mean, I was on the phones, I was knocking the doors. It felt good. It felt like we were doing something. And obviously, it didn't work. So we scrapped that. And now we have what's called Team Virginia, which is, basically the state is going to be overrun with RNC, RPV, and whoever the nominee is, the ground troops throughout 2016. And the difference is, we're no longer relying on, hey, we just knocked on your door or we called you on the phone. We started last year with building neighborhood-level relationships with activists and not just Republican activists, but just community activists. Our people have been on the ground. We tested a lot of the things in the 2015 races. All the things that didn't work last time are gone. And, we also one of the things that I told Chairman Priebus when I took over as chairman was one of the big complaints I get from the grassroots in Virginia is, we bring in these people from other states to come in and try to run elections in Virginia, and they don't understand places like Roanoke. They don't understand places like Wytheville or Virginia Beach or Loudoun County for that matter. We are out there with the Republican Leadership Initiative hiring Virginians. Not everybody's going to be a Virginian. There's going to be, people that are brought in that are at the top level that are trusted by, many campaigns and whatnot to run good races. But the vast majority, if not almost all of the people that you will see when you go volunteer for the nominee are going to be Virginians, and probably they're going to be Virginians that because you've been in the trenches with them for years. Mm-hmm. That's the strategy. I think it's a working strategy. And look, it has to work because there is no tomorrow. We are fighting to save the free world with this election.
I tell you what, you about summed it up. We are fighting to save the free world, and all paths to the White House for a Republican lead through Virginia, regardless of who the nominee is. John Whitbeck, the Republican candidate, has to carry Virginia, or the pathway to victory, as I've said many times, really narrows. They have to start winning states like Wisconsin and Iowa and others. Makes it very, very tough to do. Now,
no question.
John, let's get to your convention, state convention in Harrisonburg in about a month and a half. Tell our audience a little about that, and if they want to attend that, how they would do that.
Well, John, you've been kind enough to say nice things about the party and myself and the conventions on the air. And, this state convention is probably more important than any one before it. All over the Commonwealth right now, we're electing delegates to the national convention. We're electing 3 delegates and 3 alternates at your local congressional district conventions. But there are 13 national delegates up for election at the state convention, at the at-large delegates, if you will, and 13 alternates as well. So we will be casting votes for those delegates. And you hit the nail on the head. We don't know what the result is going to be, whether one candidate is going to have 50% or not. We just don't know. And it's possible that the convention becomes a situation where people are getting to actually cast votes for multiple candidates. And those national delegates in Virginia are going to be representing you in determining who will be the Virginia, the nominee, that Virginia selects in one of the 3 most important states in the country in what is the most important election in our party's history. And, so showing up, you got to sign up with your local, county or city committee. The forms can be obtained usually by their local websites, or if you can't find it, you can go to virginia.gop, which is our website, and you can contact me, chairman at rpv.org, and we'll direct you to where you want to go. We want to turn out as many as we can. And by the way, myself and our national committee man and national committee woman are all automatically members of the Republican National Committee at the national level, and we have a contested race for both of those positions, national committee and national committee woman, where they will be elected. The winner will be elected. So your representative from Virginia to the Republican National Party, the national committee, is going to be elected at that convention. So you need to turn out and help have a voice in who represents you to the national party.
All right, John, I'm out of time. I want to thank John Whitbeck, chairman of the Republican Party of Virginia, for being